So what could he do? How could he deal with this person who was always just irate all the time? And he said basically we just let him vent. And if anything, we just tried to, show some sympathy. So that idea of mirroring, or at least sympathizing with the person to build a connection or build a rapport, was in essence what he did. And eventually when the guy simmered down, they could start trying to reason with him. But emotions, especially really strong emotions like anger, are not going to be stopped simply by reasoning them away. And ideally, connecting and empathizing with the person is the first step to try to at least change that kind of mood. So there's pathos, and connecting to a person on an emotional level, so changing their mood. But there's also Cicero's mind, so logos, logic. And so if you can, break through that wall of whatever the mood might be, and you're able to connect with them, then logos is really the next step. And that is using reasons, using causation, providing factual evidence, why you believe a person should think the way you think, or why you want them to do what you want them to do. Sometimes even using a person's logic and following it through to show them if there really is an error in their logic. You can show it by, taking their reasoning and following it to its conclusion. A lot of times my kids, for instance, they want to have animals. They want to have more animals. If they could have all the animals they want, we'd have a mini game farm here. At one point we've had rabbits, chickens, dogs, cats, fish. I mean, at various times we've had all of these. We had an iguana once, we had hamsters, they've all come and gone. But at one point, I think the most we had were 2 rabbits, 2 dogs, 2 cats, 5 chickens. It was just too much, And so eventually we winnowed that down and gave some away. But whenever they start saying, can we get another animal, whatever, I follow through with, well, what's going to happen with the animals that we have? If we have more animals, then the animals that we have are not going to get enough attention, and so they're not going to be really happy, So just helping someone to see the consequences of where their thinking goes to, if you follow it through, that often can help persuade someone that there might be an error in their reasoning. So pathos, logos, and the very significant example that I think they provide in the book is when they mention Abraham Lincoln and how he actually, in order to win over voters in the South and trying to get them to see that there was a benefit to ending slavery, he had to first connect with them in the way that they think. And so he used humor, and he used, horrible to say, but he used racist jokes where he would actually toss around the N-word as if it was no big deal. He would use them to say to the voters, hey, look, I'm one of you guys. I'm just like you. I think like you. I was brought up with the same values, and hey, I'm one of you, so listen to me and listen to my logic and why we should actually abolish slavery. That was his very clever way of disguising, what his what his underlying goals were, but he was able to cloak that in a guise that would be appealing to his listeners. So the last area, I might get cut off here, but we'll see. Ethos, or if you think of the word ethical choice, or is a person trustworthy? Can I trust what they're saying? Do I trust their character? And this is more of something that occurs almost on a gut level. Can you trust a person? Can you trust that salesperson? Do you trust that landlord? Do you trust whether you can, walk down this particular street at night? It's not necessarily something that it's always so easy to pin down why you trust certain people or certain situations more than others, but there is something to be said for how you can establish trust. And there's some simple things you can do. A lot of it has to do with body language.